What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Clippers Latest, where we talk all things LA Clippers, quick, fast, and to the point. I'm your host with the most, Brandon Goggins, back here with another episode for you guys today. Clippers Latest is sponsored by Underdog, so big shout out to them. If you're watching this video right now, I think that you should scan this QR code right here on the screen, right here. Am I pointing at it? Right here. Yeah, that one right there. I think you should check it out. And I think that you should make your own picks because me personally, Underdog is my favorite app to place entries on when it comes to the NBA action. So I think that you should give it a try, especially with how simple and clean the process is. I think that you should visit and you should give it a shot. It's done me some good justice. So I think that, it could do something for you too. But we are here to talk about LA Clippers basketball. And I hope that everybody's doing well. By the time that you see this video, I don't know how you'll be doing. Because I am recording this prior to the game against the Bulls. So right now, I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling good. I don't have anything to be mad or upset about. Praying that everything goes well and according to plan. Nothing out of the ordinary happens because, as we saw last night, things can change in the blink of an eye, man. Jimmy Butler just tore his ACL in the Warriors game. I don't know who they were playing, but hope he gets well soon. We don't want anything like that happening on our end, but praying for a speedy recovery for Jimmy. But yeah, I just want to talk about a couple of things, some news, some storylines from the past few days, and then finish out with some predictions for the Bulls game, which I know is kind of backwards, but without further ado, well, actually, first, before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing if you are new here. We'd love to have you here along the journey with us. So, now, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So as most of y'all have heard, the All-Star starters were officially revealed the other day, and no, Kawhi Leonard was not named an All-Star. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm over here like, damn, what more does a man gotta do? You know, he has been the driving force behind one of the best midseason turnarounds that we've arguably ever seen in NBA history. If we're talking about in a single season, he's averaging 28.2 points per game, which is a career high for Kawhi. The most that he has ever scored in a season. More than San Antonio, more than he did in Toronto, more than even in his first year with the Clippers, where he went to the Western Conference Finals. All of his best years before that, he's out playing. Let that sink in. It's the best basketball that we've arguably ever seen Kawhi play. And he's 34 years old. Look, man. 28.2 is good enough to get him 8th in the league in scoring. And that's crazy to say in itself because a decade ago that would have been good for second or third, but scoring inflation, league has changed, but 8th is still nothing to sneeze at. Like 28.2 points per game is a lot, and that's not even including like since December 20th, which yes, I'm going to keep talking about December 20th because that's when all of them, oh my goodness, excuse me, man, y'all can hear my voice like starting to quiver, and y'all knew, man, the cough. I still got the cough a little bit, but we're feeling better. But the cough is still there, and sometimes I can't control it. I kind of lost my place of where I even was at because I just had to like shake back and lock in real quick. But I think I was saying that since December 20th, which yes is a date that matters because that's when all of our lives change for the better. He's been averaging almost 33 a game, including a career high 55 points. We ain't never seen a 50 piece from Kawhi until this season. On top of that, he's leading the league in steals per game and free throw percentage. So yes, I think that he deserved a spot in the starting lineup. But I also have to be real and acknowledge that this conference is overly stacked. Luka, Steph, Shea, Jokic, Wemby, like you know what I'm saying? Those are names that are very, very hard to argue with. Like, if you didn't peep, LeBron was not even mentioned in that list. And LeBron has been a starter every year since I've been alive. So if that puts anything into perspective of how stacked this conference is, there it is right there. But granted, I think that, well, he better, Kawhi better be a reserve. And if we being honest, as long as the fun guy is having fun out there and, keeps hooping like this in the regular season, I'm good. So hopefully when those return votes come in, he is part of that group. He needs to be. Like, it's low-key not up for debate. But anyways, let's talk about our boy Kobe Sanders for a second. Against Washington, he didn't have the best night. 8 points, 3 of 11 shooting. Well, I'm saying best night they played in the day, but you get what I'm saying. He went 3 for 11 from the field, and I've seen some people start to ask if the starting role is a little too much for him right now. Cam Christie is a name that keeps on coming up in that conversation, and people are arguing that Cam should start getting Kobe's minutes. It may be overtaking Kobe's spotlight, per se, in terms of his role with the team. And for being fair, Cam didn't necessarily light it up against Washington either. He only had 6 points on 1 of 5 shooting. But the argument that people are making is that when Cam is off offensively, he locks in on defense. And coaches love that. Whereas Kobe, it's not as much of the same story. And we see that in the plus minus category. I mean, look, listen. I know that plus minus isn't a stat that people love, but if we take a look at the plus minus in the box score, Kobe was a team low, minus 15 when he was on the court, while Cam, on the other hand, was a plus 16. That jumps out. I don't live and die by that stat, but when both guys are struggling to score, it does help tell the story of like who is really doing their part on defense. If you get what I'm saying. So with all of that being said, I'm not benching Kobe. I'm not panicking. He's a rookie. He's a rookie that's shown that he can change games and contribute and make a significant impact. And difference makers are allowed to have off nights. Like, everybody's not going to have a perfect night every night. And people forget that he is a rookie. But I also do simultaneously think that Cam is absolutely putting Ty Lue on notice that he deserves some more playing time. And I would agree with that. Like, I think that he does need more playing time. We need more defenders. We need more young guys on the floor. We need more confident guys on the floor. Because a guy that gets shaken up when he's not scoring well probably isn't, the normal guy wouldn't be locking in on defense and, thinking about that. They'd be thinking about how they're not doing well on offense. But Cam didn't let the off night really affect him per se. And I think that with more minutes, we'd see more of that mindset. But, we'll never know until we try. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. You just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. If you get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at this Spurs-Rockets game, and I'm selecting Wemby for higher than 23.5 points. I think that whenever he plays the Spurs, it's always personal smoke. I think that he'll go for higher than that. He's been hooping ever since he cut his hair off. If you didn't know, Wemby is bald now. And I'm also, unfortunately, selecting Sengun for higher than 20.5 points. If you don't know me, I do not like Sengun, but I have to separate bias and, skill. Alperen Sengun is a skilled player, and when he plays competition, he plays up to it. So I think that he will get over 20.5 points. But that's what I think. What I also think is that you should download the app today. And when you do so, you should use the promo code BasketballFan to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, that is promo code BasketballFan. It's right there. Just go ahead and download it and try it out. I think that you want to, because with Underdog, you make picks, and you win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-878 or text Kawhi 467-369.
Now, while we're on the topic of young guards, young light-skinned guards, to be specific, let me throw a name out there. Jared McCain, former 5-star, Duke product, 16th pick in the 2024 NBA draft. When he first got to Philly, he was a problem, man. He averaged 15 a game, and he was looking like the real Rookie of the Year contender. And then the unfortunate injuries hit. Meniscus, UCL. Those injuries caused him to miss a giant bulk of the season. I believe it was like 59 games or so. So if you fast forward, he recovers from that injury, but since then, the Sixers draft VJ Edgecombe in the 2025 NBA draft, and you see McCain's role significantly shrink. As of the other day, he was sent to the G League to play for the Delaware Bluecoats, which is Philly's affiliate G League team, and that's where the opportunity is for him. But for us, we have an opportunity. We've been talking about finding a young guard who can grow with this team, somebody that can shoot, somebody that can finish, somebody that can bring some energy, somebody that can bring some personality to this team. And McCain does all of that. The only difference between him now and maybe a year ago is that the asking price is lower than it probably will ever be. But the upside is still very much there. There's a lot of things that he can do well for this team, and I'd really like to see the opportunity. If you pair him with alongside Jordan Miller, Kobe Sanders, Yannick Conan Niederhauser, and Cam Christie, all of a sudden you talking about a real future core. So a light-skinned ass core, but it's a core. So I think that is something that we need to definitely monitor. I think it's a situation we definitely need to look at, because Jared McCain is not a bum, like, at all. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think that's something that we need to keep in mind. So Lawrence, you already know what I'm gonna say, brother. Make that call and make it quick. But now for this Bulls game, y'all already know, as I said, I won't be able to watch it live, but there's still a job to be done. Y'all probably be like, why you be recording and you don't even watch it? Look, things got to get done, man. If I'm not able to watch the game, that probably means I'm not be able to record after the game. That being said, I got to record earlier. And I know that with the scheduling, that looks weird. Y'all are seeing me before the game, but the video is coming. Y'all are seeing me talk before the game, but the video is coming out after the game. So it's like, conflicting and stuff like that. But I'm still going to predict what happens. And I'm going to try and predict for the best of my abilities. I'm going to try. But nah, we capping out this road trip in Chicago. And, this is a classic who are you really type of game. Because one, it's a back-to-back. Two, the Bulls can both beat anybody and they can also lose to anybody. That's pretty much who they are. They are always smack dab in the middle of the Eastern Conference. Every year they're in the play-in. It's a given every time. So you never know what you're going to get, so we need to bring out our A game just in case, because you never know who you're playing against when you play Chicago. I think that they'll roll out Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic, Matas Buzelis, Isaac Okoro, and maybe Josh Giddey. Maybe if he plays. I know that he is dealing with a hamstring injury, so he's listed as questionable as it stands today. So maybe if he doesn't play, then either Jalen Smith or not Tyus, Trey Jones will be in at his place. But regardless, if Giddey is out, I think that Kobe White is probably going to cook. Um, I mean, he's a great basketball player, and if he's not sharing the ball in the backcourt, then I expect him to go out there and probably try and do his thing. For us, I think that Harden is going to have to give us another 30 piece. I see Jordan Miller continuing his personal stretch, possibly even pushing 20 if the minutes allow. I expect Cam Christie to make his mark defensively again and show that he has something to prove. And I'm calling the Nico shot finding game. Give me some corner threes, Batum. I think that you can do it. I think that we'll need it. And we just going to see it. Because time will tell. But hopefully we walk out with the win. By the time that you guys see this, you already know it happened. So hopefully I'm not here looking stupid. But right now how I'm feeling, let's keep this thing rolling. So let's see how it all goes. But that's going to do it for this episode for you guys today. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and leave your thoughts in the comments below about everything that we talked about today. Hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm going to get on up out of here, y'all. Y'all be easy. Y'all stay sleazy, and as always, keep it P, capital P, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.